It is the Riot. This is our podcast.
Yay, Friday.
Oh, I'm so ready,
Thank
Nikki.
goodness.
I'm so ready. You know what, though? You know what this marks?
What?
2 full weeks.
Oh, you being back?
Of being back.
Yay.
So I'm excited about that. I continue to struggle just a little here and there, but struggle most days.
It's really not until you get later in the week. I mean, you still get tired from COVID, and that's still a thing.
I had the one night I slept like almost 9 hours, which is like during the week is unheard of, but I was in bed so early. Well, hey, you know what? I am here. Today in the show, you're going to get some good news. Something happened to me, and it's good.
Oh, my gosh. It's so exciting. So that's the big news. Second to that, Thy Witness, a new band on RadioU, joins us so you can learn about a new band to check out.
Yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to get that in the podcast.
Also with Thy Witness, that's on our Facebook page if you want to watch the interview. If you go to RadioU Riot on Facebook, you should be, obviously following and like that page. But if you join us there, you can watch us talk with Thy Witness when you're done with the podcast today.
Okay, right now, while we're talking, I put the Thy Witness on the wrong computer. So
you got it there. Well, it'll be included now.
And done. Okay, so yes, that'll be in the podcast. We talk about the Game Awards, the best Yule log of all the Yule logs. Sonic is getting a show, the Rolls Royce, the home toilet advantage for my friend Brad, who may have downloaded the podcast. A massive goldfish, and we go through a lot of text messages. A lot of people been texting, got something to say. So we talk back.
We do appreciate that. You can text anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U to say hello that way.
All right. You guys have a fantastic day.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the Riot. RadioU.
I want to say hi to Luke. He says, hey, could you please talk about the results of the Game Awards?
Oh, of course we can.
Hey, little buddy.
Like, that's a hard thing.
Right. No, we will do that.
Well, we should pretend like, no, we weren't going to, but it was all Luke's idea.
I guess.
If we have to.
We'll do that in a few minutes. David says, for the Riot, listening to the podcast, the DQ 900 car, pay for the car behind you story. Now, we talked about that yesterday. There was a Dairy Queen in Minnesota, I think it was. And basically, over 2.5 days, they had a chain of, hey, I'll just pay for the car behind me, things happening. And it lasted for 900 cars.
Like 2.5 days.
So David says, I've been that guy that stopped the trend.
Well, we talked about, way to go, whoever at the end of this 2.5 day bonanza thing ended this train that had been going on for so long.
So I got a soda. I love this. I just said, oh, that's great. Thanks.
Wasn't even thinking.
And got the soda and left. I don't know if it was a chain, but I was not planning on spending more than $1 a due for my soda.
Nice.
You know what? I get that, because there is an element of like, it's like going out to dinner with friends and you get some breadsticks and they get a 5-course steak meal and they're like, well, we'll just split the check. And it's like, oh,
no, that's not fair.
No, we're going to get separate checks, and that's the way that goes. So I get it.
But I feel like the chances are at Dairy Queen, that's not a place you go through the drive-thru mostly just for a soda. Like, that's not that style.
No, because they have like RC and Diet Right. What are you going there for that trash?
Well, it's whatever's left over, because you're going there for ice cream. So it's probably...
Don't forget about the chicken fingers basket with dipping gravy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people still...
I don't eat food there.
But I feel like the chances are you're going through there, you probably would have been spending a little bit of money, more than just for a drink.
Man, you see that family, you're there to get a soda, and you look in your rear view, and there's a minivan full of kids, and you're just like, oh they're all getting blizzards.
Stop. You're like, I can't afford it.
Listen, I'm not a place in my life right now where I can afford it. I hope you married up.
Why don't you then ask, like, can you check with the car behind? Like, is that a single person? I can pay for that.
Behind the van. So, like, not the van, but behind the van.
What about the very end of the line? No? Can maybe look?
Well, this has been great. I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, well, thank you, David, for texting us your story. He's listened to the podcast.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm with you, man. A lot of times, especially McDonald's with their 99-cent soda. Like that, the line's not long. You just pop them by.
No one does that at McDonald's. I don't know why. I never hear of a pay it forward thing at McDonald's line.
You know why? Because McDonald's, people are there for the business.
You're just there to put your head down, get your meal, and get going.
Look, I'll just roll down the window, throw it out.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
So last night, the Game Awards 2020 happened. And I just want you to know that this is especially for, I lost his name.
Oh, for Luke.
Luke, okay.
Who really wanted to hear the results.
Really wanted to hear the results. So I watched some of it last night. It was a pretty long thing. And so I watched, I was doing other things. And so it was like I had it on my second screen and et cetera, et cetera.
There's background noise.
It really was. I kind of turn and watch every once in a while. But here's some of the winners. Basically, The Last of Us Part 2 just swept the awards. It won Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Audio Design, Best Performance. And okay, I guess that's everything for that. But that's a lot. Other things that won, Best Art Direction went to Ghosts of Tsushima, which is a beautiful game. Best Score went to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Games for Impact, Tell Me Why. Don't even know what it is.
Not familiar with it.
I did see Best Ongoing Game, No Man's Sky won last night. And apparently they've been up a couple times and Fortnite beats them every time, but they won. And I'm a long-term No Man's Sky player. I've played that game on and off forever.
You maintain playing.
Yeah.
You don't stop.
Best VR game went to Half-Life Alyx, which is like, come on. Like, of course it did. Best Action Adventure Game and Innovation and Accessibility also went to Last of Us Part 2. So that's a look at some of the awards. There are a bunch of them. The other thing that was big last night were the announcements that were made.
So wait, what was the top game though?
No, that was Last of Us Part 2.
It won
Best
it won everything.
Overall game.
Gotcha.
For sure. Then with the announcements that hit last night, Microsoft announced a new Perfect Dark, which it's a shooter from a million years ago. Mass Effect got a new trailer. It was very short, and it basically just said Mass Effect will continue. Mm-hmm. That's good. It's
kind of like when, the movie gets a mysterious trailer and it's just the logo. So
we'll be playing that game in 5 years.
Well, we'll see.
The one that I saw that I'm actually interested in is a game called Back 4 Blood. Mm-hmm. And they are saying that it is essentially Left 4 Dead 3.
And that still is Microsoft?
No, this will be multi-platform. It's from Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock are the guys that created Left 4 Dead, and it is a 4-player co-op zombie shooter. And watching it last night, that's the one trailer I caught live, and I was like, dude, come on. It's time.
Need a new game.
I'm up for Left 4 Dead 3, man. I mean, that's not what it is, but it's called Back 4 Blood. Arc 2, Dragon Age got another trailer. Master Chief is in Fortnite. That was supposed to be so you'd all buy an Xbox with that new Halo game. There are no Xboxes to be found, and the Halo game didn't come out. So,
but you can still have him in Fortnite. That's that.
There's that. And then, you know what? There were a bunch of other ones. A lot of teasers, and they announced like some sales. There wasn't anything in the announcement category. I kind of thought I would go into the announcements. It would be something with a little more teeth. And
just upcoming games.
It was fine. It was fine.
And we say that when we're a little disappointed, but in the bigger picture of life, it's okay.
Well, I mean, come on. Like we are just talking about video games. And yes,
Don't say that.
I'm going to say it.
That.
I'm saying it like that.
We all need it.
They're just games. I do love them though.
It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, I've got some hope over here.
You do?
I do, because I ordered a Christmas present for you. I'm, of course, going to throw in a little something.
Our Christmas gift exchange is always with our ugly Christmas sweater party. Mm-hmm. And Obi and I do that with you guys for an evening show, which is coming up on Thursday. So next Thursday, you have on the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, our special ugly Christmas sweater party that we'll host on Facebook. So you can watch us that evening and just hang out with us. And so we do our gift exchange then.
And I have had my eye on something.
Yeah.
And I finally found it, and I ordered it, and I was like, it'll never be here.
Because we need it, by Thursday, not
Right.
Christmas. We need it by then.
But I have an email here that says it shipped this morning.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe.
Just maybe.
Like, it could happen. I hope it does. I so want to give it to you.
I don't know. What's going to happen is, like, I had something that was supposed to come in yesterday, and then I got the update where the day before they gave it to the post office.
They do have a tendency to sit down there at the post office.
What happens when your UPS or FedEx goes to the post office is always a very sad thing. And I thought, well, then it'll be delivered yesterday for sure, because that was the next day. And that's not it. And there's no tracking anymore. It's just all gone.
Well,
it'll be here when it gets here.
I saw the meme going around yesterday that's like USPS tracking. We've never heard of it. It's delivered.
Yeah, right then. You get no details in between.
That's all you get.
So hopefully that does come in time. But if not, it'll be fine.
Well, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the Ugly Sweater Christmas party. And I think I may have finally gotten you a gift that's going to stick.
Yes.
I can't believe it. I mean, it's been a while.
Will she keep it or not?
Well, you're not going to be able to return it.
So, yes, the answer is yes, she will keep it.
I mean, maybe you re-gift it?
No, I don't like doing that.
Why not?
Well, I mean, if the person would ever find out, I would never re-gift one of your gifts.
Oh, well, I actually think
I would?
No,
Or I could?
No. I don't want to go. I don't want to make too big of a deal here. Mm-hmm. But I think I've actually done it.
Do you want to not toot your own horn?
No, I want to be careful because I felt pretty confident about Space Camp. And, after I felt super confident about it until it was time to give it to Nikki. And it was just like, what have I done? This is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
You've made a mistake.
But
but this will be different.
But this year is going to be different. I feel it.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And it's so much fun doing an evening show that you guys can actually watch. And we have not done an evening one in a while. So that's coming up on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Facebook at RadioU. We would cordially invite you to our Christmas party.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
Yesterday, I had a return to make at Micro Center. Micro Center, if you don't know, it's a computer store that is, man, it's nerd heaven there.
It's weird because, in the age of a lot of places not being like physical anymore, it remains popular for the style of store that it is.
Well, that's because they stock things that in most areas of the country are only available online. So you can actually go into a store and buy things that you're just like, wait, you guys have that? Like it's here in this building? And as a computer nerd, that's very exciting. And it's the kind of place that I like to just go in and look. Like, oh, look at that cable.
Aww.
It's
a happy
ridiculous.
place for Obi and for a lot of people.
I love it. So I had some things to return. Took them down there yesterday. I walked in, and of course, every time I go in there, which I have been going a lot, but it's for other projects, and there's this little, I always go back and check their graphics card. And I went back there yesterday, and there was a little line, and I was like, I mean little, like 4 or 5 people. And so I was like,
well, people have been lining up every day for these graphics cards. There's variations of it, and there's 2 different companies, and everybody wants something.
Yeah, very hard to get a hold of. So I was like, ooh, wait a minute. So I got in the line, and then the guy...
Did you know what the line was about, though, at least? Before
I did.
Okay, at least before you got in?
I looked, and I was like, it looks like they have graphics cards, so I'm just going to get in this line. And again, it's like 5 people deep. And I figured they probably have 4 cards. So I'm like... And so the guy says to me from the front, he's like, excuse me, sir, could you please step back and respect the 6 feet rule?
To you, they said that?
Yeah, there are plenty of cards for everyone. So it was a mixture of like joy, but then also
and shame.
Like what? Well, here's what gets me is that the 5 people in front or 4 people in front of me, they're all like right up next to each other.
Oh, you were just following?
I stood in line the way they were, and I was the one that got called out.
You were the newest one in line. You took you bear the brunt of it.
I did. But it was worth it all because they had the graphics card I was looking for.
You finally have your graphics card.
Seriously?
Since his birthday in September.
Yeah. And I like when I got up there and it was like my turn, and it's like a whole experience. They have like this thing, they have to open the case and they have to hand it out to you, and then they have to walk you to the front to buy it because it's absurdly, embarrassingly expensive. And quite frankly, I still don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but whatever.
Don't worry about that for now.
So they walk me up front and I get it. And I mean, I, of course, just calmly walked up front. But I, on the inside, was like a contestant on Price is Right.
Screaming.
I mean, on the inside, I'm just like, wah! I don't know when I've been that excited in a long time.
You haven't had a good excitement like that in a while.
I was like doing backflips in the parking lot. I got home and I was like jumping up and down. My roommates are like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "No, you don't even know."
They had
like,
it.
Running up and down the hall.
And you only had to wait with like 5 other people. That's amazing because the lines have been very long and then they're just out by the time you get up there.
I knew that's the way it would have to happen. Just a random, I'm there. I'm thinking there's no way today's that, they're not going to have it, not whatever, but I'll just check anyway.
It was your day.
And I spent some time talking to one of the sales reps, and he's like, yeah, we've never had a shipment this big before. He said, I just kept opening boxes and kept pulling out cards, and we couldn't believe how many we had. And it was just like, oh, keep singing that sweet, sweet song.
A joyous day, was it yesterday?
Let the laughter fill the air. Sing that sweet song of salvation.
He needs to install it all this weekend, so he's not gotten to it yet. But
I know, that's crazy.
Oh, you finally have it.
I do.
I was thinking yesterday when the good news spread.
Yes.
that if you look back to early 2020, Obi, when you were like, hey, the PlayStation will come out, the Xbox will come out, and you kind of had your little list of what all you wanted, and you're like, well, maybe one of them. And now December 2020, you got like almost everything.
I got 2 of them.
Well, you got the Oculus as well. Oh my gosh. Are you going to sell your Oculus 2 to pay this off?
I don't have to sell it.
Shame.
I can just return it. It's still in the return window. So I actually, one of the things.
I can't look at you right now. I told you don't buy that. I said you're going to return it eventually.
Nikki.
Oh my gosh.
Listen.
Yes.
Sometimes things don't work out.
Yeah, and you know it once you're together.
No, it really comes down to I was dating an Oculus for a while, but someone came along that I liked a lot better. So
I can't go through this again. Then what's going to happen? Then like in February, you're going to be like, well, all that's paid off, and then you're going to start looking at the Oculus again.
Maybe I'll have money again. Listen, here's the deal. I like real talk. I don't buy things that I don't have cash on hand to buy. Like,
sure.
I do not do that. And yesterday I did that. Like I actually am a little bothered by it because it was like that is a principle, like founding principle in my life. And yet yesterday
you couldn't help it.
I was like, no, dude, no.
Well, wait until it get closer to Christmas. Because what if? I mean, maybe with Christmas presents or something.
What, am I going to return my Christmas presents?
No, I mean, like, maybe it'll work out. I don't know. Maybe you'll get a gift card that you can use back at it.
Well,
You'll have to
I don't
see.
know. Nikki, this is something had to go. Don't be like that.
But you're just throwing it away, and you loved it for a very short time.
And you know what? Sometime next year, I'm going to love it again.
When you go buy it again.
And it's fine.
It is fine.
It's fine.
It is. Well, congratulations on getting your graphics card.
I knew you wouldn't like that part of the story.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Okay, Nikki, I told you that I was going to show the world the Yule log, the only Yule log that I think could possibly beat the RadioU
Yule log. Well, that goes with our Christmas channel, which is a tradition each year. But what's the new one?
It's a. Would you just click it and look at it? I'm going to tell you what it is.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm processing it. Is that real?
It's real. It's an hour long. It's a dumpster fire.
That's a fantastic idea for a Yule log.
Shockingly good.
So it's an hour-long video of a dumpster fire, and it looks like they hung 2 stockings in front of it.
Yeah.
And someone stokes the dumpster fire like every so often.
Yeah, and at one point, a guy comes out and he roasts toilet paper over it like it's a marshmallow.
Oh, no. Just a statement about the year. Is that it?
You know, there was the great toilet paper shortage, and it feels on point.
So it is the idea of an advertising agency in Canada, and they came back with the idea for the dumpster fire idea, made it all laugh. So they went through thinking about what all they would like to burn, and that's when the toilet paper idea came up as well.
It's incredible.
It's a great idea. So you don't need a Yule log, you need a dumpster fire.
What an amazing idea that is. It is a dumpster fire Yule log video.
And Angela was just texting, can she have the link? So if you want the link, we'll share it with you.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you, Angela, so you can watch it. And of course, you know what I think I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to pair that with the RadioU Christmas channel. So, you know, you just put this up on the TV. And
is there Christmas music with theirs, or is it just the fire?
You know, I didn't actually turn it up to listen.
Didn't hear the music?
I should have, but I didn't. So there it is. The dumpster fire Yule log.
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
Boy, the thing I'm probably most excited about is, did you guys hear the new Sonic news?
What, the restaurant or the hedgehog?
The hedgehog.
Oh, what are they going to do?
Nikki, Sonic's getting his own show.
Listen, Sonic the movie did way better than
it should have.
It should have.
Did I say that? Yeah, I did.
No, I will say every time we talk about it, we haven't seen the one that came out, was it in February? But people say it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
That is not a great advertisement for something.
It is when there was nothing else, because then the pandemic happened, and Sonic kind of stayed and lingered and made more money before things started closing down. So it did a lot better, and I know that's why they're doing a second one.
Yeah, they are.
Now they're doing a TV show?
See what you did? Do you see
it's your
what
fault.
You did?
Well, what show are they going to do?
Well, of course, Sonic has had, 2 animated shows? And just to let you know, I realize that I'm in dangerous waters here. There is a very strong fan base of people who grew up watching what I believe was the second Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that went on for a very long time. It's got deep lore. People are into it. You know what I'm saying? But Sonic is getting a 3D animated, like a computer animated show that's coming to Netflix.
So it'll be Netflix, and it'll debut in 2020.
2.
Yeah. Missed the 2.
It's okay. It's all right.
2022, yeah.
I get it.
You're like, there's still some time left, Obi. You don't understand.
No. 2022.
Yes, it'll be then. And they had tweeted about it, but it's been since deleted, so they're not sure what's up.
So they released their first pic.
Teaser image of it?
Yeah, like what it's going to look like. And it just looks like another picture of Sonic. And is that Tails? I thought Tails was redder than that. Whatever. Whoever that character is.
Now that you said it, it feels better. At least it's Netflix. I mean, it could have been. I mean, that's something, I guess.
So, hey, people, like I said, people like the Sonic. It's fine. Sure, it's fine. I mean, Sonic is doing a lot of video game stuff. So they've got an Assassin's Creed show that's coming, and they're doing a Resident Evil series.
Oh,
so
I forgot about that.
You got that. You throw in Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a lot there.
A lot of stuff to add to the queue. Not watch, but add to the queue.
You know, we have more streaming news. There's a bunch of Disney Plus news out there, which we'll get to.
Oh, there's so much.
So much.
That was all last night.
Here's what I feel like we're in the middle of right now. We are all on the verge of massive price increases. It's coming.
You mark this day that Obi said it, and you're like, no, we've already had increases. It doesn't matter. There's going to be a lot more. He knows the HBO Max one. That's going to be a big increase. It's
massive
all coming.
Price increases. Get ready.
In 21 and 22. Every year you're going to get the increase.
Don't worry.
I did tell myself, because I'm interested in the Discovery Plus one that starts out to January. And I told myself this. I said, well, why don't we, instead of being down on how much we spend on streaming services each month, let's cut ourselves some slack, and let's just maybe, put a cap, like a number we want to try not to go over each month.
Yes.
And, bring some in, pull
some out.
Yeah, and just kind of be a little bit more flexible, because there's so many right now, and it's hard to pick and choose.
It is, and they keep adding things I like or I'm interested in. That's the hard part, it's
harder to say no.
It is. It's one thing when they're showing you things you don't care about, and you're like, just cancel it. it's a waste of money. But when it's like, there actually is something I want to see there, it gets tougher.
And they're no longer putting as much stuff just out there. It's now just only at the service. And you want to watch that movie there. You want to watch the show there. And before you know it, you're spending a lot of money each month. And I don't even think we realize how much we are.
It releases once a week. And pretty soon what you really have is cable.
Yes. No, actually, you have it was more than what we probably paid for cable.
Well, I don't just mean the price. I mean the service. I mean, if you're just paying for a channel that's on demand that shows up once a week, like that's just cable.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
So you could probably sing along to O Come, Emmanuel. You could probably have. And you're probably like, yeah, I have a friend in geometry. His name was Emmanuel. Like, it's cool. Like, is this song for him?
Is it? No, it's a Christmas song.
I had a crush on a girl. Her name was Emmanuel. So, like, is that like her? No, Emmanuel has a meaning. It actually means God with us. And that is a name that people gave to Jesus, God with us, because Jesus being born, which is what Christmas is about God showing up personally in human history and coming for us. Jesus is really amazing. He's all about defying expectations. People expected God to show up and set up, like a big kingdom, like you and I would be part of the United States of Jesus or something. And it doesn't work that way. He set up this system that's voluntary, that you can be a part of if you want to. You can do things his way if you want to. It's odd. One would expect something a little different, and yet it's amazing because I've decided that I want to. And so I have started a relationship with Emmanuel, God with us, and God is with me. I found it to be very true. God is with me. And you know what? There are days when either I'm not getting it right, or maybe I'm just so busy. I'm just like, I guess God's here. I don't know. Let's get back to work. Whatever it is. But I want you to know that you can have that too. You can have God with you. It's not about your own effort. It's not about your own work. It's about just being willing to accept who Jesus is and what he did for you. Do you want? I mean, it sounds funny. I feel like I'm selling you something. Would you like to have God with you? Then send 4 easy installments of 19. No. You can just, God is there for the asking. You can just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you with me, Emmanuel. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. Move into my life. And God's about that. That is what Christmas is about. And it's kind of what that song's about, too.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, do you have a spare $400,000 sitting around?
I'll have to rustle up and see what I can dump as far as like properties and stuff. But
okay.
maybe we can get that together. What are we going to be buying for that much?
Well, you might be able to outbid Kris Jenner, that's like Kris Jenner from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Here's the thing that I'm fascinated by. She just paid $400,000 for the privilege of being the first person to get the first assembly line model of the Rolls-Royce Ghost.
Really?
That is their new Rolls-Royce. I didn't even know Rolls-Royce was still a thing.
Well, it's
I'm not kidding. I didn't know.
It's not in our lease and buying options, so that's probably why. I actually thought you would have said, like, that seems, for what it is, I thought it'd be more.
Does it seem like a lot?
It does seem like a lot, but it seems like
but for
a
what it is, in the
Rolls-Royce would be
context.
even a lot more than a lot.
I don't even know. I know from watching, see, this is my brushes with true wealth. I know it from watching movies, but I don't even know if I've ever actually seen one in person.
A Rolls-Royce?
Yeah. I mean, does anybody remember that scene from The Living Daylights where the dictator that Bond was eventually overthrowing?
I don't think most people are saying yes right now.
No, that's not what it is. That's not it. It's from Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. There's a Rolls Royce because the guy's like, he wants the car instead of whatever they're offering or something like that. That's it. That's my Rolls Royce knowledge on display.
There's new stuff, I guess, is what we're learning, and probably not going to pay for it. We don't want to. That's not our lifestyle.
Well, what do you think, honestly? What do you think makes that? Because it's a sedan.
It's not a symbol. It must be a symbol.
Okay.
And then they're just buying it for that.
But I mean, is the inside of that car like you've had a nice car, but you would sit down? I'm wondering if an idiot like me can get in the driver's seat of this Rolls Royce and suddenly be like,
I don't think you care about it as much.
But would I notice?
Probably.
Do you know what I mean? Like, would I notice?
Would
like
be
when
afraid
I sat
to touch
down,
anything.
Yes,
yeah, I think that'd be the real thing.
But when I sat down in it, would I just be like, oh?
No, I don't think it means as much. For them, it could be like a status symbol. They then change it all out and spend even more money on it.
Sure.
Where it's just not the style. We wouldn't feel very comfortable. Even if it was a luxurious car, by our standards, I don't think we'd feel comfortable in it. I can't put my dogs in it. I can't. So I'd have to put a blanket down.
Well, again, you have to think in terms of what is $400,000 in relation to the rest of her money versus what, your car is to your money. And so I'll bet that is a much smaller portion of her finances than, say, what you're paying for your car right now.
Sure.
But there it is, new Rolls Royce. And
does it look nice or just looks like an old Rolls Royce?
I'm just looking at two pictures of it. It doesn't mean a lot to me. And I'm not being insulting. I don't understand. What do they say? Pearls before swine? Oh, I'm a pig.
Just do it.
I'm a pig. I'm a pig staring at a beautiful big pearl.
You can't
and
put
I don't know
us in
what
that.
it is.
It just doesn't even. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a picture of it too. That's never been a car that I thought, oh, I'd really love to have.
Yeah, me either. But you know what? Now I want it. And now I'm
you don't.
My life is unfulfilled.
No, you don't.
What a terrible existence I have. If only I had this car.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here, obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Happy Friday and happy new people.
Yes, happy new bands on Radio U starting today. Thy Witness spent some time, Obi, with our Battle of the Buzz.
And did well, as I heard.
They did with the song Fortress. And to them, today is the official day that they start on Radio U, where you can request it anytime.
Awesome. Well, good morning, Thy Fortress. No, I'm getting it wrong.
Thy Witness with Fortress. He's off to a really good start.
We're doing great.
That works.
Thy Witness. Good morning, Thy Witness.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good morning. We're good.
So why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band?
I'm Vincenzo, or Vince, whatever you want to call me. I play guitar.
I'm Seth Magnetic. I do all the vocals.
Nice.
Awesome. So, Thy Witness is really new to us and new to some of our audience. Why don't you backtrack with us a little bit? Tell us where you guys got started.
2017?
I think so, yeah.
Thy Witness officially began. We played together in a band prior to that. We kind of branched this off from there, just the two of us. It's always just been the two of us. We've never had other members. We released one EP so far, working our way through a full album. Just him and I put it together.
Awesome. So working through a full album, like from an EP to a full album in 2020. I mean, you guys are sitting next to each other. Do you guys live near each other? Is that something you're just doing in your spare time? How are you making it work?
Well, luckily, we always do our writing pretty much remotely, where I kind of record like the music side of it and he writes the vocals himself. So the writing process for the album hasn't slowed down a whole lot. And even going into the studio, there's enough room to kind of, distance and all that stuff. So it hasn't really slowed us down in that aspect, except for maybe like playing a release show. That's not really possible right now.
Do you feel with having so much time, though, that's been available to not put on concerts and do things like in person, have you felt more pressured, like you have to spend all that time to write a ton of songs, or is it hard with creativity, or has it just been pretty similar to your other years of writing?
I think, not to speak for both of us, but this year for Thy Witness specifically, we both have other musical projects we're involved in, things we do throughout the year. So really a lot of things being canceled and slowed down gave us a whole lot more time to work than we're used to having. So I think in those other areas, maybe there are pressure to do things that we have the time to do. But for us, this has just been kind of a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. We've accomplished a lot this year that I don't know we would have been able to do otherwise.
So you guys are talking about... I'm sorry. Go ahead. Vincenzo, please tell us.
We actually had a lot of the music written before 2020 even started, and we were just kind of sitting on it, waiting for the right time to get in there and record it.
So with you guys said that you both had other musical projects going on. Like when you guys are not Thy Witness, what else are you doing?
Well, right now I've actually been training with a producer named Will Carlson. He also does Outsider Heart,
Sure.
Yeah.
which I know is big on RadioU. So yeah, I've been working with him, trying to get things going there. What have you been doing?
So I'm constantly creating at home. I also front another band around Columbus called the Admiralty. So those are that takes up a lot of time normally, as well as us writing. But this year's just really been the eyewitness focused. I think for both of us.
Well, this is Vince and Seth from Thy Witness. Like we mentioned on Bow the Buzz, you've been hearing their song Fortress, and it's done well enough, and everybody's been so excited about it that it starts in what we call like rotation today. So people can vote for it. You can request it for the most wanted and just show it some love today on Radio U.
Yeah, now I feel like we're close enough for me to really ask this question. What do you guys want for Christmas?
You always are fast.
I love
you love
hearing this.
about that. What do people want?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's a little early, but we wish you a Merry Christmas. And our gift to you is that we're going to play Fortress.
Yes, we're so excited. It's just nice. We love new bands on Radio U, so we're excited to have a chance to, get to learn more about you guys and have you now on a Radio U.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We seriously can't say thank you enough.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking time to hang out with us this morning.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Do you still want to do the show, or do you want to?
Not.
I feel like we peaked. We did Thy Witness. The rest of it's probably just downhill from here.
Yeah, but there naturally has to be a downhill, anyways, just for us to be able to then close the show later. But
okay.
we're still at the top of the hill. I don't think we can just roll down yet.
Okay,
and you can't try to cough to get out of it.
You know what?
Is your cough back?
Yeah, I've the last 48 hours. I've been coughing a lot, and it surprises me. I'll be in the middle
it's
of
a sneak cough.
It is. I'll be in the middle of talking, and it'll just be like, ha ha. You're like, hey, I'm busy. Ha ha.
In fact, it's usually the worst time that it'll come up.
Don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. I'm the cough.
Do you have water ready in case, or does it just sometimes with coughs, like water doesn't even help? It doesn't matter. You're just gonna have to cough it out.
You're just there. Cough it out. That's either our new band or it's our new talk show.
Oh my gosh.
Cough it out.
Cough talk.
Cough talk. And we have a segment called Cough It Out.
Ah, yes, I really like that better.
Right? Because it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what? It sounds like you're really bothered. You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to cough it out.
And you're really actually just coughing during it. You could just cough all over each other.
No, listen, wow, I didn't see this coming, but it's brilliant. I've got it. We could talk about different kinds of coughs and things to do because, for me, if I've got a sinus infection or a really bad something and, a lot of drainage in my chest, and then, you're trying to sleep and then you keep coughing and coughing and coughing, what you got to do, this I've discovered, is lay across your bed, but then lay so that you're laying upside down, so your body is hanging.
Yeah.
And what happens is gravity will go to work.
Oh, do you have to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gravity goes to work. You just give it some time. You're going to have to fight the urge to cough. So that could be the talk segment. And then when it's time to cough it out,
then you're ready.
Then you're ready to go, go, go. And I'll tell you, you end up that thing you've been fighting with. You find it, you get it out, and you're ready to go back to sleep.
Well, listen, we'll be booking guests soon. So if you have a chronic cough, get ready. You can join our show.
There's a lot to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry your cough's back, though. I've noticed that it's been creeping back.
It's fine.
Aww.
It's fine. I'm just
in time for the weekend. Yay!
Perfect. I'm excited
Who wants
about
to cough on a Monday or a Tuesday? Why don't you get one on a Friday?
The Riot Radio U.
I'm not really sure where to start this discussion, so I'll start here with a little something my friend Brad calls the HTA. The HTA is the home toilet advantage. And Nikki, you understand it.
I don't want to. First off, I'm special. I just don't use the bathroom.
Sure.
So as in a lot of people maybe. But I also, if I had to, I don't like to just use it outside of the house.
Yes.
You just don't know what's going on.
That's why you're a firm believer in the HTA.
Yeah. If you can hold it, just wait till you get home.
We're
on vacation. Still hold it.
Yeah, but like I feel like sometimes the HTA can relocate a little bit. Like you're in a hotel, and after a couple of days, your body is like, this is a safe place.
And you have like your approved restaurants where you know you're okay, but you have your no-nos like the gas stations and some restaurants, depending on locations, where if they're not following protocol on like a national level about the cleanliness.
RadioU's first floor, places you don't want to go.
You can use here's fine. This is home base too. This one counts.
Okay. Now, there's a woman in Australia that is having a home built there.
Yeah.
And they're nearing completed stages. And she and her husband, of course, as part of the construction, they have to pay for a porta potty that lives outside.
Oh, yeah, for the
construction workers.
Yeah, for the workers, sure.
But once the construction was done on the plumbing and stuff, and the toilets were installed, she went in and put seals on the thing?
Yeah.
Because she didn't want
the construction workers
using her bathroom.
Sure. Well, okay. I will tell you this. There's construction in my family, so I understand this problem. I was a part of a conversation where a place had not sealed some of the bathroom stuff off. And what sometimes happens is if it's fair game, like it's just open, a lot of times they'll just pee into the bathtub and just use that instead of the toilet. So it's very common. If you don't seal it off, then you could just go anywhere then.
This is going a very different direction than I thought it would.
So part of me understands like it should somewhat be sealed sometimes if they're still providing bathrooms somewhere else.
Well, Nikki, I have a letter here from the homeowner to the guys working on the house.
Now, if she wasn't nice about it, was she not being nice?
She says the toilets in this house are not rightfully yours.
Oh, don't say that.
We're paying for an outdoor toilet for you. Not only did you take the virginity of our toilets, but you disrespectfully ignored the seal sign, ripped the tape, and continued using it.
I feel like there's a little anger there.
When I read that, I was like, Nikki understands.
That's your home toilet.
She doesn't want people interfering with her home toilet advantage. Maybe this lady's a little more passionate, or maybe she's just more outspoken.
I wouldn't have been like that, especially if you weren't moved in yet. Like that's as long as everybody has an understanding.
The issue there, I think, is that maybe just talk to the construction foreman or supervisor because these guys are working on the rest of your house.
Yeah, you don't want to make everybody angry right away.
Maybe it doesn't work out for you,
or they'll just use the sink. So. Who knows? There might have been issues.
It's always funny to me to find the places where you and I are naive. Mm-hmm. And for me, I just want you to know that you just took a little more of my innocence when you told me that the construction guys were peeing in the
tub, in the shower. Yeah. That's just what they do. If the toilets even aren't working yet.
That wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times. And let's just say there isn't necessarily water to wash it down.
So it's just hanging?
Yeah, just there.
So basically, you just paid, who even knows how much, for a sewer, a construction worker sewer.
But it depends on your setup.
And you take off all your clothes and put your bare feet on it day after day.
It just feels like they're probably angry about a bunch of stuff if they didn't try to talk it out already. I'm not sure if that's going to work.
I don't know, Nikki. I feel like if I sent you to Australia, you and this lady
I could mediate that, and I think I could really make a positive out what was a negative. I think I could help.
And you could bridge that gap because you understand the construction side, but you also know what it's like to have somebody.
Side. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So yesterday, Disney had their investor meeting or whatever, and they unveiled more news in that than I think I've seen about movies all year. I mean, it was insane, the amount of stuff that they dropped yesterday. So we got some dates on Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're saying that that's going to be March of next year. That's going to Disney Plus. They also were saying January for WandaVision, and then the Hawkeye TV show, I think they were saying August for next year. They also announced a bunch of movies, basically. They were saying, some of this they had announced, but Fantastic Four is the big one.
You think so?
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Yeah. Because I can guarantee you that Fantastic Four will become the thing that it swings on.
Gotcha.
That will be a thing. They also announced Iron Heart, which, if I understand correctly, Iron Heart was the quote-unquote female Iron Man that took Tony Stark's place for a while in comics. I think that's what that is.
And that's a Disney Plus movie or
No. These
theaters?
are theater movies. Yeah. Thor, Love and Thunder, Ironheart, Captain Marvel 2. Those are all going to theaters. And then as far as the stuff that was coming to
Disney Plus,
what else did they throw in that mix? They talked about the Loki series. They talked about, in fact, there was a trailer for that. I'm pulling from a couple of different sources here. Let's see, what else? Hawkeye.
I think
Thor.
they said the Raya and the Last Dragon, that's an animated one that'll come to theaters and Disney Plus at the same time. And they're using that word premiere access.
Oh, yes. Now that Nikki,
feels like the Mulan thing.
That's exactly what it is. That's another thing they announced for Disney Plus. It's not Marvel, but it's one of their new animated movies where they're saying, hey, you can pay $30 and get it right now, or you can go see it in the theater.
Which kind of goes against what like HBO Max is going to plan to do, where you just get it with your payment of HBO Max already.
Yeah. They also announced about 100 million Star Wars shows that they're going to do. It was 100 million.
Translates to about that, but they said 10 Star Wars shows.
So they're saying on Disney Plus, you'll get Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka, which are spinoffs of The Mandalorian. So I guess they're introducing some things in this season that is going to show up in those. You get an Obi-Wan show, you get the Bad Batch, that Cassian Andor show. And the one to me, out of all the stuff they announced that I thought sounded the coolest, was a Rogue Squadron movie directed by Patty Jenkins.
And
she's the one that's directed the 2 Wonder Woman movies. That interests me maybe the most. But they also, wait, that's not all.
We told you guys, did you get your snack? Are you ready?
They also announced that they are going to do an Alien TV show. Mm-hmm. So like Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien Covenant, all that stuff. They're saying they're going to do that. That's going to go to FX. So that is a 20th Century Fox or whatever property that they bought. Yeah. And that's coming. There's also a Willow TV show. And
the new Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, I didn't see that.
There's going to be the 5th Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford. It'll be released July 2022.
Okay. Great.
So that'll be there. It's Harrison Ford, and then the guy who did the Ford v Ferrari, that will be the person behind it.
Good. That sounds great.
So if there was like a movie or a franchise, then it's getting a new one and it's coming out.
How about this one? A Cars TV series on Disney Plus. They're also doing a Buzz Lightyear origin story.
People were a bit up in arms about that one yesterday because it's not voiced by Tim Allen.
It's Chris Evans.
But people have pointed out that Tim Allen doesn't voice all the Buzz Lightyear stuff.
No, he doesn't.
He did for the movies, but he didn't do it for like the special other stuff. But people still think that he's just been pushed aside, perhaps because of his
conservative-leaning views.
Honestly, yes, that is what everybody is saying towards that.
Yeah, he's made a kind of a name for himself right there. So I don't know. I think it looks really, really interesting.
So that would be an origin story of Buzz Lightyear. It'd be a movie.
Yeah, so like in theaters kind of thing. You know what I noticed though is that never mind. I was wrong. I thought they were moving it away from Pixar, but they're not.
No.
I thought it was just going to be a Disney Studios, not a Pixar. But
again, this is just the tip of the iceberg that we're telling you. There's so much movie and TV news from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even. That's not half of it. That's just a bunch of it.
That's just some of the main ones.
And we're out of time.
The Riot, not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
Listen, y'all, Christmas is getting closer. It is 2 weeks from today. What?
Oh, guys. Yes.
Holy Spiergen.
I know, it'll just jump like it's just going to be there. I'm surprised this year's gone by so fast, but especially this holiday season has gone by so fast.
What is going on?
But we're ready. On Thursday, we're hosting our RIOT annual Ugly Christmas Sweater Party. It'll be an evening show that you can watch. It'll be on our Facebook pages. So if you go to RadioU or show page at RadioU RIOT, please join us on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for our Christmas show.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And it's next Thursday night. If you guys want to send, large cash donation?
No. You know what? They don't have to do anything except if
Just
they want to
watch?
wear their ugly Christmas sweater while they're watching. That's it. It's just purely come and enjoy it.
Now, wait a minute. Let me toss something at you here, okay? I have looked at 2 virtual concerts. Not for me, you understand.
Yeah.
But it's popped up in news stuff where the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, a big favorite of the Riot.
Yeah.
Is it next Saturday or sometime next week? They're doing a virtual concert.
How can they?
I don't know, but they're doing it,
With the whole orchestra.
it's like $50 or $60 or something like that. I saw Lindsay Sterling. She's the well-known kind of like rock violinist.
Sure.
Yeah, she's doing a Christmas concert this weekend. $25, I think.
We're not charging for ours. We're not doing a concert, though.
Well, let's just dismiss my ideas outright.
I don't even need to hear anymore.
Let's just blow them off the table.
Always been free. It's like if we were to have a party physically where everybody could come on in. It's the same thing.
And
but
there's a cover charge?
No, we're not throwing that type of party. We're not doing that. There's no cost to cover. There's nothing else. It's just us.
What I'm saying? Okay.
It's family. It's like you're inviting family over.
Us.
You wouldn't charge your family.
I guess you wouldn't.
Listen, you do whatever you want with your part of the party, all right? I'd rather have if people brought 2 liters over or a snack.
Nikki always makes fun of me. I mean, back in the days when people did come over, I'd be like, hey, just bring a 2-liter. So everybody brought their favorite soda, and then we were good.
Bring a chip or a dessert or something.
Just bring something.
But we'll do this, and there is no charge. It's just us hanging out with everybody.
You said I could do whatever I want, so here's what we're going to do. If you want to watch the Nikki part of it, it's free. But there is a $10 upcharge for the Obadiah camera.
That's so weird. Oh, if you want access to that, oh my gosh.
Otherwise, you'll just have to guess what I'm saying based on Nikki's reactions.
Let's just see how well it does, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't want to run it past management because you know what they'll do. They'll
say
just
no?
wipe it out.
You want to better to ask forgiveness afterwards.
Forgiveness, not permission, Nikki. It's how I've been living my life so far.
I don't know how it'll go, but as far as what I have planned for the free side, we'll do our movie trivia, we've got our food fights, and then we'll just talk with you guys.
Do you want to watch me eat for $10? No.
You want some? Isn't it balloons? People give balloons.
There are Asian countries where that would take off.
Oh yeah, you could make a lot of money.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
All right, Nikki, you want to talk about hay? Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about goldfish?
Goldfish or?
I think that might be all.
Let's talk about the goldfish because I've seen the pictures.
Did you see it?
It's so weird because it's so big, but we shouldn't also judge things by their sizes.
No. I just want to say full on that I don't understand what it is about when something gets big. It looks like it's a nightmare.
It looks fake.
It is a nightmare.
But it's real, and they say that they found in a South Carolina lake a almost 10-pound goldfish, like the ones you would have in your house. At a much smaller size. And it was discovered when they were doing a fish survey in the lake in Greenville, South Carolina.
15 inches long. Ugh. 9 pounds. It is 15. They say it is 15 times bigger than a regular goldfish.
Did you read? They say they were electrofishing in the lake, and it was too big compared to the electric stuff that they were sending through. So it was jumping out of the water, but it wasn't killing it because it weighed so much compared to the other fish. It was like
we can't kill it.
So it was jumping out to try to get away from it, but it wouldn't die. So they had to stun the fish so that it would float to the surface. And then they documented the health of the fish population. So when they were electrofishing, they weren't killing it at that point. They were just stunning them all.
Well, they decided that since it was not an invasive species,
they let it live.
They put it back in the lake and said every lake should have its own Loch Ness monster.
They say it's been hiding out probably for a few years. The jolt of electricity just kind of woke him up there, and they let him go.
Good for them. ew.
So they think it was something that someone dumped in there and it just kept growing, or
no,
where did it come
that
from?
Right there is when, like, you know, your parents decided that you weren't responsible enough, and we're moving, we have to let him go. He
but
can't
is that
come
like
with us.
flushing it down the toilet, or is that like taking it to the lake and dropping it out? Okay.
Yeah. Your parents just thought it was going to die, okay? They acted like you were doing some great thing, but they assumed this was another way to kill the fish.
Well,
little did they know that this fish was going to go on and become one of Earth's most disgusting creatures.
Can I tell you, though, if like my mom did that, I would actually be happier if she took it to the lake compared to just flushing it and then whatever happens to it that way, if it was alive.
I mean, do people flush live goldfish?
If they don't want,
if they don't want to deal with it.
If they don't want to deal with it anymore, I don't know.
Because the stress of fish ownership was just too much.
Hey, I have one fish, and I keep Google searching how long will this thing live. It's forever there. And Gumdrop, I'm sorry to call you out on that, but they're not as easy to take care of as you think.
It is kind of high maintenance.
Yeah, it's more than you assume when you take on fish ownership.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm pet free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're missing out.
I got a PlayStation.
Yeah, but you need a doggy, too. I think if you had a dog with your PlayStation, man, you'd be set.
No, I need to continue to have my cold, dark heart.
You'd be dead because of your allergies. But if we got you one that you weren't allergic to, you'd be fine.
Would that be wonderful?
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
I want to say good morning to y'all. You can text 877-2-RADIO-U. So PR texted, this is a good one. He says, Obi, you always tell your only me stories. I've got one for you.
Well, Obi is unique and special, and things happen to him, and it's just like, I know that only happens to Obi. But I guess some other stuff happened to others.
I really do have
not just you.
Interesting moments.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So he says, went to Walmart to buy the just released Madden 2016. Salesperson removed it from the lock cabinet, bags it. I go straight to the car, remove the shrink wrap, open it up, and inside is a blank DVD-R with the movie Click recorded on it.
Oh, really?
Like the Adam Sandler Click.
Yeah.
Someone at the plant swapped it out. Ever since then, I always make the salesperson watch me open the game immediately after buying
After you buy
it.
Do you think they would have taken it back? I should have asked him.
That would have been tough.
Yeah.
I have been in a situation where I have opened a sealed game like that, had a problem, and gone to take it right back. And
they don't believe you.
They never believe you.
I know.
And I'm just like, look.
Check your cameras. I just left.
The only thing that helps is like if you exchange it for the same game,
then they'll believe
or
you.
the same item, they're usually like, okay. But if you're like, yeah, but I want to get that one, you're pretty much out.
It's just how it is.
It is. I want to say hey to Nate. Nate said, whoa.
Nate, this is a long story, man. This is intense. You've had coffee for a really long time.
We'll just get you to the beginning. He says, guys, here's my coffee story. I've been an avid coffee drinker since I found a Tweety Bird coffee mug on the side of the road at age 5.
That's early.
His mom let it soak in bleach for a day.
Ew.
And then finally let him have it. And then
The coffee mug?
And then he wanted some coffee like you and Dad have. So she let him have some thinking he would hate it.
Like a sip.
Turns out I loved it, and she regretfully said that I couldn't have any more. A few years go by, I'm sneaking coffee here and there, and then around 8. Who sneaks coffee at 8 years old?
I guess that's what he's doing. He had the taste for it. What is he supposed to do?
He discovered dry powder coffee mate and fell in love with flavored coffee and coffee creamer.
Wow,
so
that's so young.
Skipping to the end, he gets deployed. He ends up making coffee for himself. He put some creamer in it, and that creamer had curdled, and it made.
Oh, and he was done because it was in like his thermos, his canteen thing.
Yeah.
And he made it in the morning, and then he was going to have it later at the end of the day, and so he can't do the creamer anymore.
Oof.
But it looks like he still has coffee every day.
Let's not be
Nothing's
ridiculous.
going to end that.
Let's not be ridiculous.
Well, thank you for your coffee story, Nate. That's something, man. You've been on that stuff a long time.
Also want to say hey to Abby, podcast listener. She says, I just heard your Thursday podcast. That was yesterday. And she said her fiance bought and played Cyberpunk 2077 and is not super impressed.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are not happy with how their setup is playing it. And Cyberpunk wants it to be your fault, but some people are just mad that they weren't more transparent about you might not be able to play it as well.
I don't know. I'm not going to be cyberpunking yet, so
you have a nice setup. I'm sure you'd be fine.
I do. It'll probably be okay. I'll be playing on the PC on my new graphics card.
She was also saying how
later.
She's a fan of all energy drinks except Bang because she gets headaches and a racing heart after drinking it.
Dude, that cotton candy Bang. How can you not love it?
Well, but
you know what else is good? Rockstar has like a diet cotton candy. A friend of mine gave me a can of. He's like, here, I think you'll like this.
Yeah, and that one's good.
Don't ever drink it.
I don't think Rockstar...
Because you'll always be thinking about it.
I don't think that one causes a racing heart as much as Bang does. There's something about that stuff, which is why everybody likes it. And she says she drinks it in like 10 minutes, so drinks it slower.
That's slow?
Oh, yeah. I know people that just... Well, it's mostly Eric, so by people, I say Eric. He's a person.
He's a
person, too. My special someone really loves Bang.
And I always make sure I go really slow.
You're not...
With an energy drink.
Not like that.
Unless I'm desperate. That's a different story. But we don't need another Wednesday.
Obi on Wednesday had too much caffeine and possibly had a little problem with that.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Put these Christmas pajamas on and run in like it's Christmas morning. Shut up!